Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Davia Chambers. Today we are at Kristens Place, a modern-style villa in the southwestern village of Bonaccord. Join us for the next half hour as we explore all it has to offer. We will also bring you up to date on all the major stories happening in Tobago over the past week. Stay with us for all the details, starting with this week's headlines. It's a first for Tobago as the family court opens on the island. We chat with another National Youth Awardee about how he's been making a difference, and later we've got highlights of talented artist Adana at her debut concert. We have all these stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us.
All senior citizens have rights. So let's discuss issues affecting the young at heart, such as aging and elderly abuse, at a one-day elderly symposium on October 24th at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. If you're a senior citizen, caregiver, healthcare professional, or researcher, this event is for you. Entry is free and space is limited, so register now. To find out more or to register, call 639-3395 extension 47102. This elderly symposium is being hosted by the Division of Health, Wellness and Family Development in collaboration with TATE, the Tobago Association of the Elderly.
Kristens Place is a villa with an impressive mix of modern style and traditional flair. It's clean and spacious and perfect for a relaxing family vacation. If you're planning a trip to Tobago, then consider Kristens Place. You know, speaking of family, Tobagonians will no longer have to travel to Trinidad to access family court services. A branch was recently opened in Calder Hall, and our cameras were there to bring you this story. Have a look. Divorce, protection orders, legal custody, maintenance, property issues, and adoption. These are among the family matters handled by the Family Court of Trinidad and Tobago. And now, for the first time, these services are available right here in Tobago at 54 Calder Hall Main Road, Scarborough. This means families in conflict can have their issues addressed in a new and dynamic way.
It is part of the overall vision of the judiciary to transform delivery of its services to the nation. It is but another phase in the expansion of the network of services provided by the judiciary in innovative and non-traditional ways, aimed at making them more accessible, customer-focused, efficient, and effective.
The Family Court is a problem-solving court. It has customized facilities that provide access to wrap-around services such as mediation, counseling, and other social services specialist support. According to Chief Secretary Honorable Kelvin Charles, the court is a welcome addition to Tobago.
Families, like every other aspect of life, are subject to the inevitable whims that shape our human and earthly existence. And therefore, the presence of an institution such as this can never be overstated, especially today, where so many issues and challenges are confronting the family unit.
Court Pay has also been introduced at the court. It's a service that will simplify payments into and out of court. It has been described as a new era of advancing development in Tobago.
This is a dedicated mission of development, and I would like to compliment the judiciary and compliment the Honorable Prime Minister passing through the Office of the Attorney General and my colleague Minister Webster Roy in understanding that unless you address all of the elements at the same time, you just simply cannot achieve development. How else do we explain sitting on a pilot project, which is the family court, for 15 years, but opening Tobago today?
The first family court was opened in 2004 in Port of Spain. Kristens Place was built in 2016 as a family getaway, but this place only opened to guests in May of this year. This property sits on 950 square meters of land and was dedicated to one of the owner's children. From Bonaccord, we head southeast to the capital, Scarborough. Scarborough has been earmarked for revitalization. The public was consulted on the urban revitalization project, and we have the highlights. It's all in this story. Scarborough is getting a major facelift. The Scarborough Esplanade is the first target of the Urban Revitalization Project. The project will improve views of the harbour and make life easier for pedestrians moving between the port and western Scarborough. It will also provide recreational spaces along the seafront and reduce traffic congestion.
We want to enhance Tobago in different ways. So today is the day where the consultant, Mr. Sammy, would bring all the information to you all, making you all aware of what we intend to do.
One of the key elements of the proposal is to transform the existing sidewalk that stretches west along Milford Road into a boardwalk.
The waterside boardwalk will mainly be in this area simply because as you go further west, there isn't much room between the existing sidewalk and the seashore to say it justifies two different boardwalks. But in the wider area, we are looking at a waterside boardwalk and a landside boardwalk.
As part of the project, a roundabout is proposed on the western end of Scarborough, as well as a traffic hub once proven to be feasible.
We know that one of the issues that continues to affect the effective use of the Esplanade is that there is a traffic problem in this part of Scarborough. But there is right now ongoing a separate project to deal with the traffic congestion getting out of Scarborough and into Scarborough, especially on a morning. But we will also be looking at the traffic congestion issues specific to the Esplanade and the possibility of a traffic hub being developed somewhere in this area.
Draft assessments have already been completed. The team has also communicated with the public through this consultation, including most of the Scarborough Esplanade vendors and large nearby businesses.
Our findings are that the potential impacts on the natural environment, things like noise, vibration, impeded air quality, improper sewage disposal, impeded water quality, that sort, there are well-known, well-established measures available to manage them.
The project is set to begin in the first quarter of 2020. It's being undertaken by the Division of Settlements, Urban Renewal and Public Utilities, along with the Housing Development Corporation, or HDC, and the Inter-American Development Bank. A major plus for Kristens Place is its location. It's a few minutes away from popular beaches, a variety of restaurants, shopping and other conveniences. This includes the A&R Robinson Airport, so there's no long journey whether you've just arrived or you're wrapping up your stay. Now, Tobago kids really have talent. They showed it recently in a special competition, Speech Band. It's an art form that helps preserve the island's oral traditions and in this case, lets young students harness their creativity. Have a look.
Students from across the country converged on Tobago, showcasing their best performances in an exciting and unique art, Speech Band. They brought their colorful costumes and inventive lyrics, with their eyes firmly focused on the top prize of the National Speech Band Championship. The theme, Capture a Mind, Change a Life, and Impact a Community. Speech Band is a type of spoken word used by Tobago Carnival traditional characters. Speeches are typically written in iambic pentameter, which is a metrical speech rhythm and is more commonly posed in comic rhyme that usually leaves audiences in stitches.
Good were the days when honesty was the best policy, when everybody in the community was all kind-hearted and happy. Those were the days when we have some sort of integrity. Nobody's talking out the shop to put down a robbery. But now it's all about fame and not an ounce of compassion. To spoil somebody girl child are their one and only mission. You remember when it took a village to raise a picnic? Well, interfere with a soul, and it go take the whole village here to find your body. Drag your bone, Mr. Fiddler.
That's the winning performance in the secondary school category, Signal Hill Secondary, showing craftiness and energy to earn the $10,000 top prize. Wim Anglican was the best primary school, edging out 6 competitors for the win and $8,500.
Shaping citizens was part of we identity. We used to really look out for one another. The church was a place of unity and divine order. Now is a set of bacchanal and confusion, murder, robberies, and corruption. Some politicians quiet and for couple playing dead. But I sure all you know, fish that's rotten from the head. Drag your boat.
Even the little ones got involved. 2 early childhood centers participated, with Plymouth Bethesda getting the judge's nod and $7,000. This was the first time the National Speech Band Championship was held in Tobago. It was hosted at the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort by the Division of Education, Innovation and Energy, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the Integrity Commission. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
We have to take a break, but when we return, a National Youth Awardee tells us about his love for agriculture. It's up next on Let's Talk Tobago.
Hey, this is your girl Adana, and you're tuned in to Let's Talk Tobago.
Welcome back. You are watching Let's Talk Tobago. Now here at Kristens Place, you'll find a well-equipped kitchen with solid surface countertops and custom-made cabinets. All kitchen appliances are stainless steel. And if you're in the mood for some barbecue, just fire up the grill and have a lime outdoors. And staying outdoors, we touch now on agriculture, the favorite subject of 17-year-old Omari Cox. He's making strides with his lettuce farm, and he recently picked up a National Youth Award for his efforts. Here's more. Famous author Mark Twain is credited with saying, "Find a job you enjoy doing, and you'll never have to work a day in your life." That quote reflects the story of 17-year-old agricultural entrepreneur Omari Cox. Omari is passionate about agriculture, so he decided to plant and sell lettuce wholesale to hotels around the Tobago. He also sells his crops retail in his community.
I first got involved at the age of 11 when I was in primary school. We planted red beans in a Styrotex cup, and after that I was fascinated with how mine grew. My daddy, we was living up in Colorhall at the time, and he granted me a bed. He built a bed for me. Then I said, you know what, let me try lettuce. And I like lettuce salads. I find lettuce, it's popular. So I just tried it, and I realized they came very big the first time. And after that, I just kept planting. And as I moved down here, I got it on space. So I decided to try and expand it a little more.
One of the Sustainable Development Goals of the Food and Agriculture Organization is to end hunger, achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. And this young man, who recently copped the National Youth Award for Agriculture, 12 to 17 years, is helping to achieve that goal.
I was a bit overwhelmed because this was my first time ever being nominated for the National Youth Awards. And, you know, I'm just grateful and I'm thankful that I got to showcase my skill, you know, and I'm not really doing it for the hype. I'm just doing it because I love it, but I'm still thankful.
Omari says he's encouraged by his parents Lois and Damian Stewart, as well as his grandfather, Sylvan Rollocks.
They inspired me because I didn't really like school that much, and my mom and my dad, they told me that just even though you don't like school, do something that you like with your hands, what God bless you with. And I realized that at a young age I really loved agriculture and planting lettuce. So they inspired me, and my grandfather, he granted me beds, and then we started.
With World Food Day being celebrated this month, Omari is satisfied that he's contributing to the development of Tobago's agricultural sector.
I see myself in the next 5 years distributing lettuce in a packaged form to regional and international countries.
The National Youth Awards was hosted by the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. Kristens Place hosts large groups, family vacations and getaways. It features 3 ensuite bedrooms. All rooms offer spectacular views of the sprawling landscaped garden. It's truly a sight to see. Now this, if you are from Trinidad and Tobago and even further abroad, you might know the name Eastland Orr. As a gospel singer for over 2 decades, she's been an inspiration to many. Now she's sharing her inspiration in a different way, as she recently published a new book. It's all in this next story.
So I'm on set today with Miss Joyce Eastland, or we really know her by Eastland Orr, but she's now going by Joyce Eastland Orr, a daughter of Tobago, a daughter of the soil, in whom we're very proud. And she recently wrote a book, Broken Promises, Fulfilling Purpose. One of the beautiful things about this book is that it really takes us through your life journey. And it wasn't always about soca, it wasn't always about gospel, and when we look at what's happening in our nation today in terms of the deviancy and the youth, I think this book could really help someone to realize or understand that, yes, you may be at one place at one point in time. That is not very positive, but you don't have to stay there. There is always room and opportunity to get better, isn't it? So tell me, what inspired you to write this book?
It was an accident that I had in New York where I broke my foot. And I had to be bedridden in the hospital, in the New York hospital. There was not much to do, so I started reflecting on my life. And I seemed to, in the midst of all the reflection, I seemed to, base a lot on my youth. And look, I stood there for a long while, for many days in that hospital, thinking about my youth and how delinquent I was. And if I had to live it all over again, I would not be that way, because I came out of an excellent home with an excellent mother who always tried to give me the best advice, tried to train me in the best way possible. But for some reason, when I arrived at the age of 16, I just started to do my own thing, and this book is definitely a book for young persons, to guide them, to let them know, hey, listen to your parents know what best, and go in the direction that they want you to go, because I didn't go in that direction, and I encountered a whole lot of wrong stuff in my life. I became an alcoholic, which was really a very low period in my life. And I could have been saved from all of that if I had only listened to my mother. So in the book, you would hear me talking about, I remember the teachings of my mother, and it was on that bed that I reflected a whole lot on all the positive things that she would have sowed in my life that brought me now to this place and helped me to be who I am, because I always remembered in the midst of all the wrongdoings in my life, I remembered
the values that were
was taught by my mother.
No, you said something very interesting, and for some reason, a lot of young people tend to think that what's happening now is new. But the Bible also talks about there's nothing new under the sun. They tend to think that the older persons did not encounter or do some of the things that they did. And it's really about learning from other persons' experiences. Some of your chapters talk about wrong road, wrong decision, wrong associates, wrong direction, wrong strategy, wrong stuff. Here you are, how many years later, talking about these things, the very things that a lot of our youth are struggling with that 16 and 17, as a matter of fact, even younger. You know, we see where they're starting off all 11, 12, they're in the gangs and so on. But this really and truly isn't anything new. What would you say was probably your defining moment to take you off that road of deviancy that you were going down? You were under the bright lights in Trinidad. You were living your best life in one way, you know. But what would you say was probably your defining moment that you thought, no, this doesn't make sense?
Well, you know, as I reflect, you know, what was happening is that when I leave Trinidad one way, a delinquent way, and visit my mother, I would always come back to Tobago. I realized that on my journey to Tobago, I had to present myself in a decent, nice way. Yes.
So you were living two lives.
Yes, I was living two lives.
There was the Eastland of Trinidad and the Eastland of Tobago.
Yes, and when I go back to Trinidad, I'm all loose again, just behaving crazy. I have to say behaving crazy. Just people can really talk to me. I had a snobbish attitude. I believed that everybody was wrong and I was right, when actually I was the one that was wrong, and people were just trying to guide me, you know. So I was torn between the two islands, and I said, no, I need to make a change. So I would always hear my mother, and I go back to my mother, like her voice used to be talking in my head. So she got the better of that person that was in Trinidad, that delinquent young woman in Trinidad, because she taught me the right way. And I believe that a lot of people, a lot of these youths out there, they remember, you know, and I want to speak to some youth that may be looking at this program, you know, please listen to your parents. They know best. Stop wasting your time with these peer groups that you join yourself to. They will just lead you astray, and they have a way that, you know, when danger comes, they would leave you right at that spot and run. And you know, who are the innocent party, you're going to pay the price. And you know, I've been there, done that. I'm speaking from experience. So if you're listening, don't say that I don't understand. I do understand, because I've experienced it. So I came to that place where I wanted to make a change. I wanted to make a change. I wanted to be different, because I really could not be that two-person. In Tobago, I'm good, present myself so nice to people in Tobago, they love me. And then back in Trinidad, I was no good. I wanted to be good, and that change lies within you. I speak to somebody today. If you really want to make a change, that change lies within you, and you have to draw it out. And that's what happened, and here I am now.
And you know, I want to also encourage parents, because sometimes as parents I think get tired. They can't give up. They think, you know, they keep talking, they keep trying, and nothing is happening. But what stands out is that you said you always remembered your mother's words. And so I really want to say to parents, don't give up on your children. Don't give up instilling the correct values and so on in your children, because they never really forget. They may stray, but we trust and pray that eventually the words will bear fruit and they'll come back.
Coming up next, we have highlights from a special concert, the Adana Experience. It's coming up right after this break. Stay with us.
Do you know someone who has given outstanding service to Tobago?
The Tobago Day Awards 2019 will recognize deserving individuals and organizations in 4 categories.
The Tobago Medal of Honor Gold for distinguished and outstanding service. The Tobago Medal of Honor Silver for long and meritorious service.
The Tobago Medal of Honor Bronze for loyal and devoted service.
And the Chief Secretary's Award for outstanding contributions from November 1st, 2018 to October 25th, 2019. You can also download forms from the THA website at www.tha.gov.tt or the Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page. Nominations close October 25th at 2 p.m. The Tobago Day Awards 2019, celebrating our people.
Throughout Throughout this villa, you'll find classical and modern features that lend to the peaceful environment and are good conversation starters, including this Waldo mirror. And through here, the large living area is a great place for families to gather. So Tobago songstress Adana recently hosted her debut concert, the Adana Experience. We have highlights in this story. Have a look.
This was a fantastic experience. I'm visiting from Brooklyn, New York.
I had a ball. It can show from my sweaty face, Adana. I love you.
These are just two of the many patrons who savored a night of fantastic music from Tobago songstress Adana. Full name Adana Roberts. She's been performing since the age of 16 and recently hosted her debut concert, the Adana Experience. It was the perfect stage to showcase her versatility during a mature performance across a range of genres.
No matter what happens, don't let it go. You got me soaring on your floating away. Thank God for you, baby. You drive me crazy. What we have is amazing. I can't. Everybody just rock, just rock, just rock.
Culture Secretary Nadine Stewart Phillips was impressed by the onstage quality.
Adana Experience was awesome. I want to say congratulations to Adana on her first concert. Adana is one of Tobago's own, one of Tobago's vocalists, one of Tobago's best female artists, and I had an awesome time tonight.
Adana's mother, filled with pride, also showed her support.
I feel very elated, and I'm always, and I will always be there for my daughter, and I hope that God's strength will move from strength to strength and go for higher things, bigger things, any way at all possible. And any way that she sets her heart, I am there with her.
Some of Adana's closest friends, such as spoken word artist Cleon McPherson, as well as performers Sharon Phillips and Garden Knight, helped to make the night memorable. Even the star of the night was overwhelmed by the experience.
Tonight was beautiful, you know, the turnout was unexpected, but I'm grateful all the same. And, you know, it was a beautiful experience overall. I'm just really thankful, and I can't wait for the second edition of the Adana Experience concert. It was so overwhelming. It was such an emotional experience for me, and I could not wait to share my music, my talent, and of course my friends with those who came to support me tonight.
The concert was held at the Apex Bar and Grill in Bon Accord, Tobago. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
We've come to the end of yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information on Kristens Place, you can contact 499-9083, or you can email them at kristensplacetobago@gmail.com. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. We leave you with a montage of the recently concluded Tobago International Cycling Classic. We do hope you enjoy.